Repetition is one of the real keys to success. Sometimes in order to improve, you just have to keep going. You just have to increase the frequency and persist with whatever it is you are trying to get better at. Sometimes it's really hard when you are working on a skill or working towards achieving something to see the end goal when you're at the very beginning. You're not that good at what it is you're trying to improve at. There's not really a lot of evidence to suggest that you're ever going to make it or ever going to be successful. And you're just finding that the motivation isn't as strong with every day that passes. But this is the reality for most people who are trying to build something, most people who are trying to achieve something. If you look at any successful person that you look up to, celebrities, singers, musicians, actors, actresses, sports stars, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But if you look at them and where they're at today, you see them as successful, you see them as somebody maybe even lucky. You know, you see all their possessions, you see all the money they've got, you see the status that they've got, and sometimes subconsciously we say, I bet it's really easy for them, you know, I bet life is pretty simple for them, they've got everything figured out. But we forget, with our arrogance, we forget that at some point or another they were in the exact same position that you are finding yourself in today. And they were telling themselves the same things that you're telling yourself. You know, it's too hard, it's unlikely that I'm going to make it. The competition's really strong. I don't feel myself improving at the same speed I want to be improving at. However, one thing they did not do, despite their doubts and despite their areas of concern, is throw in the towel. No, they persisted and they carried on. Despite their potential doubts and anxieties about whether or not they could be successful or make it to be a success, they continued. And that is the reason why you know their name. So what you need to do is make a decision. You need to ask yourself, is what you're doing right now the thing that you want to be doing? And if you come to the conclusion that yes, it is, then you need to then decide to go all in. You need to then decide to stop making excuses and stop allowing low motivation to take control of you. No days off. No taking it easy. You must lock in. Because look, if you've established what it is you want to do, you really want to do it, there has to come a moment where you just do it. No talking, no thinking, no planning, no strategizing, just action. Just action. That's what the people that you look up to at some point discovered. They just had to act. They just had to perform. They just had to get it done. It seems overly simplistic, maybe even slightly offensive. That's not the intention. You've got to have some talent, you've got to have some skill, and maybe a little splash of luck. But you're not going to get to any of that unless you have the most fundamental thing, which is the discipline. Ryan Holiday says it famously, discipline is destiny. Discipline will take you to where you want to go. Motivation's wonderful. Isn't it such a great feeling when you're motivated? Sometimes when I wake up in the morning, it's a Saturday, I've had a long week at work. You don't then feel motivated to get up and get to the gym, for example, because you've had a long week, you want to rest. But the discipline will get you in the door of the gym. The discipline will take you there. When you develop your discipline muscles, when the motivation is not there, they will take over. Now, as I said, motivation's great. There's times where you are really motivated and it feels so effortless. But if you rely on motivation all the time, the discipline will start to come down. And when the discipline comes down, you can't rely on the motivation. It's not always going to be there. Motivation's like this. Up and down, up and down. If you work on being disciplined, your discipline will be like this. And regardless of the motivation, chopping and changing, going up and down, your discipline is going to stay here. And you are going to have it in your back pocket if you need it. But look, that is the biggest predictor of success. Circling back to what we talked about at the beginning of this video, sometimes in order to get better, you just have to stick at it. You just have to increase the frequency. You just have to work more on this specific thing. Now, be smart. Don't work yourself into an early grave. Find a balance between professional life and personal life. Sometimes, if you do too much of the other side, you're enjoying yourself too much, it can have a negative ripple effect. But at the same time, if you're working too hard, it can have a negative ripple effect. So find a balance in the middle. Sometimes quantity is really good, working hard, getting your numbers up. But sometimes if the quantity is just so much whereby you're not really making sure that what you're doing is of a good quality, it can be a problem. So find a balance somewhere in the middle. But look, make a decision. Make a decision that you are going to go. Make a decision that whatever it is you want to improve at, you are committed. You're not going to see the results straight away. Maybe you won't see the results for a long time. Maybe you do this thing for a year without really seeing any progress or improvement. But at the 1 year mark, you start to see some change, some results. This is the reality sometimes. But you really have to stick at it. And then the results will come. Develop a long-term mindset. A year seems like a long time in the immediate moment. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not. So commit yourself for longer. With this channel, I have said to myself, I want to give it 10 years. 10 years. You guys watching this video right now, I don't know how long you've known me. I don't know how long you've been watching my videos. I've been going at it for a while now, over a year, probably coming on to maybe 2 years at this stage. I'm having a great time. For me, I'm willing to give YouTube 10 years, at least, before I decide to throw in the towel. Because I understand that sometimes putting short time limits on things doesn't necessarily guarantee a quicker turnaround. But sometimes being in things for the long run, making that firm commitment, can allow you to maybe improve more gradually, yes. But at the same time, it can really make you enjoy what you do, love your craft. When you know you're in something for a short period of time, you rush it. But when you know you're doing something for the long run, You really enjoy what you do and you savor every single moment. I really enjoy coming on here and making these videos. I try and speak from the heart, and I try and speak from lessons that I have learned previously and good and bad experiences that I have learned from previously, and obviously things that I find interesting and things that I think are worth talking about. But if I was just thinking about the number of subscribers on my channel, the number of views, the numbers of likes, the numbers of comments, I wouldn't be able to do this with the same consistency. I wouldn't be able to do it because the motivation would be low, because the reality is, in the grand scheme of things, this channel is not a high viewed channel. It's not a highly liked channel or a highly subscribed channel. However, for me, I understand the power of consistency. I understand the power of that if I do this for 10 years and I keep working, chipping away, maybe collaborating with some different people, maybe the formats of the videos change every now and again, but ultimately maintaining consistency, I gain not only the respect of myself, but the respect of people who will come on this page and see what I do and see, well, Alfie's been doing it for a very long time. Fair play to him. But some of you guys are going into things that you want to do, things you want to achieve, maybe hobbies, passions, side hustles, with a short-term mentality. You are rushing the process. Success takes time. It really does take time. So expand the period of time that you're going to set out for yourself. If you're thinking that you're going to give it a year, you're going to give it 6 months, it's unlikely you're going to get success. It's possible. Look, people blow up on social media in really short spaces of time. People get results very quickly, sometimes in business. But it's just less likely that you will. And the mentality's not right. It's a short-term mentality. So look to the long term. Increase the frequency of whatever it is you're trying to improve at, and just stick at it. With every single time you do it, you're going to get better. Every single time. Just stop thinking about the end and just set yourself a longer goal. And make your goals generally more long-term. Forget about the end result and just focus on who you are today and who you want to be tomorrow. Look, guys, I really hope that in one way or another you took some value from this video. If you did take some value from this video, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to my channel. It makes a tremendous difference, every single one of you that hits subscribe. And look, if you enjoyed this video, please share it with a friend that you think would also enjoy this video. That also makes a big difference. Look, comment your thoughts down below. I'd be really pleased to hear what you've got to say. And look, if you are a young man on a mission looking to make some changes and improve your life both personally and professionally, I have a free men's Discord community that I run with over 25 like-minded guys within the community right now, making great changes both personally and professionally. So if you want to emulate that and get some similar results for yourself, be sure to join the community. It's an absolute no-brainer, and once again, absolutely free. And look, if you are interested in hopping on a one-to-one coaching call with me, the link to that is right down below in the description of this video. Once again, all you have to do is click the link, book yourself a slot, and I will see you on the other side. Look, guys, I really appreciate your time and attention. And as always, I will see you in the next one.